Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Pea Stitch Inspirations. My name is Sydney and today we are going to learn how to do the thorn stitch, which right now I've just got a little bit of a stockinette going on, so nothing to really see. But today's stitch is going to be an 8-row repeat, and when we go to cast on your stitches, we are going to cast on a multiple of 4 plus 1. So my multiple of 4 is 12, and then plus that extra stitch, which is going to play effect with our edging. And this stitch is a little bit more on the intermediate level, and the reason why I say that is there is in a few of these repeat rows, there is going to be a part in the repeat unit that we are going to have to go into the same stitch and do a knit stitch, a yarn over, and then another knit stitch, which I'm going to go through all of that with you guys. And also, other than a knit and a purl, you are also going to need to know how to do a knit two together, and also a slip knit, and some slip stitches. So go ahead and grab your yarn, grab your knitting needles, whichever you prefer as far as yarn and knitting size, knitting needle size go, and we can go ahead and get started on row number 1. For row number 1, the very first 2 stitches, we are going to go ahead and knit those 2 stitches. Now that is not part of the repeat unit, that is just for our edging. So once you have those 2 knit stitches made, and the next stitch is the stitch that we are going to do the knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, all in the same stitch that I was talking about earlier. So we can go ahead and do that. Go into that stitch, knit that stitch as you normally would, but do not slide it off of your left hand knitting needle just yet. Go ahead and yarn over, and then go back into that stitch and go ahead and knit that stitch. And once you've got that stitch knitted, you can go ahead and slide that off of your knitting needle. And then after you have that stitch made, we are going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And that is the repeat unit until you get to the last 3 stitches. So we can go ahead and do that once more. Again, go into the very next stitch. Go ahead and knit that stitch like you normally would, but don't slide it off of your knitting needle just yet. Go ahead and yarn over, go back into that same stitch and knit that stitch again, and then now you can slide it off of your knitting needles. Go ahead and knit the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now once you have made it to the very last 3 stitches, we are going to do that very first stitch again, which is the knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, all in the same stitch, and go ahead and slide that stitch off of your knitting needles. And in the very last 2 stitches, we are going to go ahead and knit those 2 stitches. So that is the first row repeat. Now for the second row repeat, go ahead and turn your work. And we are going to start off with a purl 2. So 1, and 2. Now that is for our edging. That is not part of the repeat unit. And now we can start on the repeat unit. And with your yarn in the front, you don't want it in the back, because if it's in the back, we are on the wrong side. If you have your working yarn on the front side, it's going to make a big old loop in the front with this string of yarn which is attached to your ball, and that is not the look that we want. So with your working yarn in the front, we are going to slip the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. After you have those 3 stitches slipped, which should be purlwise, we are going to purl the next 3 stitches. So go ahead and purl the next 3 stitches. And that is our repeat unit. So again, with your working yarn in the front, we are going to slip the next 3 stitches purlwise. So 1, 2, and 3, and then go ahead and purl the next 3 stitches. And once you get to the last 5 stitches, so you'll continue doing the repeat until the last 5 stitches. And once you get to the last 5 stitches, we are going to slip the next 3 stitches purlwise with your working yarn in the front. And the last 2 stitches we are going to purl. So that is the second row repeat. And for the third row repeat, go ahead and turn your work. And we are going to start off with a knit one. Now that knit one is not a part of the repeat unit. That is just for our edging again. And now we are going to knit the next 2 together. So go ahead and knit the next 2 together, which if you don't know how to do a knit 2 together, we are going to go into the next 2 stitches knitwise and just knit them as you normally would. And then after you have the knit 2 together, we are going to slip 1 purlwise with the working yarn in the back. And then we are going to do a slip slip knit. Now how I do my slip slip knit is I just do a knit 2 together in the back loop only. It's just however you prefer it and what is easiest for you. And that is before we get to the end of the repeat round, we are going to knit 1. So that is now the repeat round. Again, once more, we are going to knit the next 2 together, slip 1 purlwise with your working yarn in the back, and then do a slip slip knit, and then a knit 1. So that is the repeat unit. Just continue doing that until you get to the end of the third row. And that last stitch should be a knit 1. So that is the third row repeat. And for the fourth row repeat, go ahead and turn your work. And we are going to start off with a purl 4. Now that purl 4 is not part of the repeat unit. That is just our edge stitch. So go ahead and purl the next 4 stitches. And for the repeat unit, we are going to slip 1 purlwise with the working yarn in the front. And then we are going to purl 3. So that is the repeat unit until you get to that very last stitch. So go ahead and slip 1 purlwise with your working yarn in the front and knit or purl the next 3. And then once you get to the last stitch, that is going to be a purl 1. So that is the 4th row repeat. For the 5th row repeat, go ahead and turn your work. And we are going to start off with a knit 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, that is our edge stitch. And now we are going to go back to that stitch where we did a knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, all in the same stitch. So go ahead and do that. So knit 1, yarn over, don't slide it off of your knitting needle, and then go back into that same stitch and knit that stitch. Now you can go ahead and slide it off of your knitting needle. Once you have that made, we are going to knit the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now that is our repeat unit until we get to that very last stitch. So go ahead and go into the next stitch, knit 1, don't slide it off of your knitting needle just yet, yarn over, go back into that same stitch and knit 1. Now you can go ahead and slide it off of your knitting needles, and then go ahead and knit the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And once you get to the end, that last stitch, we are going to go ahead and knit that last stitch. So that is row number 5. Let's do a check-in real quick to see how our stitches are looking. So now you should have these little bumps that almost kind of look like thorns going on. Hence the name Thorn stitch. And I just wanted to do a check-in real quick to see how your stitches were coming about. So now for row 6, go ahead and turn your work, and we are going to start off with a purl 4. Again, this is not going to be part of the repeat unit, so go ahead and purl 4. Now for the repeat unit, we are going to slip 3 purlwise, making sure your working yarn is in the front. So go ahead and slip 3, 1, 2, and 3, all purlwise. And then we are going to purl 3. And that is our repeat unit. So go ahead, purl 3, 1, 2, and 3. Again, go ahead and slip 3 purlwise, 1, 2, and 3, and then purl the next 3 stitches. And you should have 1 stitch left over once you get to the end of the 6th row. And in that last stitch, we are going to go ahead and purl that stitch. So that is the 6th row repeat. Go ahead and turn your work. For the 7th row repeat, we are going to start off with a knit 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Again, that is part of our edge stitch. Now we are going to knit the next 2 stitches together. Go ahead and slip 1 purlwise, making sure that working piece of yarn is in the back. And then we are going to do a slip, slip, knit. Now I do mine with the knit 2 in the back loop only, whatever you prefer. And then go ahead and knit 1. So that is our repeat unit for the 7th row until we get to the last 2 stitches. In the last 2 stitches, we will go ahead and knit those stitches. So you can go ahead and continue the 7th row repeat, and then I will meet you for those last 2 stitches. Again, the last 2 stitches will be a knit stitch. And for the last final repeat row, which is row number 8, go ahead and turn your work. You should be now on the wrong side. And we are going to start off with a purl 2. Again, that is not part of the repeat unit. And for the repeat unit, we are going to slip 1 purlwise and then purl 3. So that is the repeat unit. You can continue doing that until you get to the last 3 stitches, and then I will meet you for the last 3 stitches. So again, go ahead and slip 1 purlwise and purl 3. So once you get to the last 3 stitches, we are going to purl 1 or slip 1 purlwise, and then we are going to purl the last 2 stitches. And that is the 8-row repeat for the thorn stitch. So that's about how your stitches should look. Again, you have these little spike thorns, whatever you want to call them, that's going on. If you guys did enjoy this tutorial, don't forget to give this video a like, share, comment, or subscribe. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can find my email down in the description box. Same with any of my other links. If you did enjoy this tutorial, don't forget to check out my other knitting and crocheting tutorials and patterns as well. I do have written patterns on Ravelry if you are interested. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.